Fathers today. As we celebrate Father's Day, we want to know what it means to be a good father, and who better to talk to than a man who founded the Cool Dads Foundation, Bongani Luvalo. A very good morning to you, Bongani. Thank you very much for joining us. Very happy Father's Day to you.
Thank you. Almost said same to you. Good morning to your viewers as well.
Essentially, Bongani, what makes a good father, or as you term it, a cool dad?
To us as a foundation, a cool dad is a father who is physically, emotionally and mentally available for their kids. Most of the time when we grew up, our fathers had to support us financially while they went and fended for other things, or others were absent. And today we said, fathers, we've got to bridge that gap where fathers are not only there physically and emotionally, but they only bring their money. So for you to be a cool dad, you've got to be a friend to your child. You've got to be the hero. When your child is troubled or faces different circumstances at school and so on, they've got to know that at the end of the day, when you appear, their world becomes a calmer space. They can trust you, they can tell you their issues, but most importantly, they can trust you. So as a young father, we are preaching to our generation to say, as young fathers, we've got to ensure that we create that safe haven for our own kids to trust us, for them to, tell us their own issues, to talk about school, to play with them, to interact with them. Kids interpret love with, the time that you spend with them. The more time you spend with them, the more kids realize the love that you have because of you've got that continuous contact with them.
Essentially, what is the Cool Foundation, the Cool Dads Foundation, all about, and who is part of it?
Cool Dads Foundation is a movement for young fathers, those of us who grew up without our biological fathers or fathers in our lives. We thought, let's bridge the gap. Statistics year in, year out, they'll tell you on the high level of absent fathers in our homes and what that causes. We've got so much social ills where kids are lacking, being validated by their fathers, or the responsibilities left to mothers, but that father figure is needed. And we thought that as this generation, we've got to ensure that our kids experience life differently. They must be given an opportunity to be kids. And for kids, we mean they don't have to worry about where their father is or why their father left them. It has got to be a question of, I know my dad is somewhere, and my dad, I can relate with my father at this point in time or at this level of interaction. And as I said, once a father is there are certain roles that can be played by a mother. You can be there as a mother, but there are certain things that a boy child would feel comfortable to talk to a father about. There are certain things that a girl child would need in a father, validation, being told how much you are loved, and being taught how life is going to challenge you. And as a boy child, how to kick a soccer ball, how to ride a bicycle, how to fight battles, whether physically or emotionally. So those are the roles that a father has got to play. They cannot be replaced, although mothers try and replace because they've got no other option, but they've got to fend for their kids. But at the end of the day, we thought, us as this generation, we've got to ensure that kids experience both the mother and the father, irrespective of circumstances between the parents. In
bridging that gap and through your experience in working with some of the kids and being a part of the foundation, what sort of impact have you seen on kids that have grown up without a father in their life?
We've got a program called Big Brother Mentorship. It's solely for boys who do not have, a father figure in their lives. Most of them are problematic. We have interacted with the Department of Education. They're unruly, they're ungovernable. Others, they miss school because they're looking for that validation that I'm referring to. So in most cases, I think different stats as well have indicated that social ills are more prone to kids who do not have both the mother and the father in a warm home, or do not have that fatherly love. So once you have both parents playing their roles, you've got minimal social ills that will impact society in terms of teenage pregnancy, drug abuse, as well as violence, because of both parents are there to play a certain role. And as a child, there's nothing that is more important as being validated. As a girl child, you must be told you're beautiful, you must be told that you are loved. As a boy child, you must be told that you are going to grow up to be a champ, you're good whether in sports or you're good in your education, and actually you're a hero. So those are the things that, give a strong character and a strong personality in a child, whether it's a boy or girl. And as they grow up, they know themselves. They don't need to be defined by society. So when you have an absent father, society then gives a certain definition to a child, and then you lose the moral compass in children.
Yeah. Bongani, did you grow up without a father?
Yes, I grew up without my biological father, but of course we had experienced, in school you'll have a male mentor, at church you'll have a male mentor, but that's one of the reasons that actually encouraged me to actually start Cool Dads Foundation.
And how did that impact you?
I think I still live to wonder how I would have turned out at this age if I had a father figure, if my biological father was part of my life. maybe I would relate with women differently, maybe I would relate with men differently. I think there are certain things that a father teaches you, and I've seen through my own experience with my daughter that there are things that if I am absent, she would not know and understand. You know, I can see the strong character that she is. I can see how eloquent she can, you know, express herself. But also that sense of trust. You know, when I interact with her or when I appear in a room, you can see the smile in her face and the glow in the eyes that says, I trust you. You know, even if I'm troubled, I can relate with you. And after all, I would know that my troubles can be sorted out. You know, so those are the things that when an father is absent causes a child not to find themselves, but also to always wonder, did the relationship with my mother, you know, did my birth cause the breakup between my parents? So kids, psychologically, it impacts them, and they are always wondering, would I have been, if I was not here, would my parents be still together? Would this have been happening? So there's a lot of questions and wondering. So I also find myself doing that, but I've come to really accept that what I do not have control over could not have been.
Definitely. We thank you very much for your time this morning.
Thank you very much, and
again.
happy fathers to all fathers in South Africa.
Indeed, that was Cool Dads Foundation founder Bongani Luvalo talking to us about Father's Day and the importance of fathers being present in their children's lives.